Hello and welcome to video number 5. Today we are talking about taste, and we've got one more video after this which we're talking about touch, and then the remainder, the last video number 7, will be kind of basically what I think I'm going to do is just kind of go through my book and junk journal it up and add little accessories and maybe add some more stories and do really pretty much just a video of creating. I know a lot of this video series has just been kind of a flip through type to show you what I've done to document certain ways. And so I think on video 7 I'll actually spend some time getting creative with you guys. This was a new approach. I really was trying to shorten videos up. I don't know why that's always such on my mind about trying to keep them under 20 to 30 minutes. And like I've said before, if you're new to watching my videos, I don't have the time or really the equipment to, I guess I could get the equipment, but I really don't have the time to edit a lot of my videos, and I would like to. So what you see is what you get. Basically, it's like if it takes me a while to find scissors or glue or whatever the case may be, that's kind of going to be on there. So anyway, but let's go ahead and jump into talking about taste. Now, if you're like me, food, I know that sounds just so, but food is a big part of life. I mean, even at like Thanksgiving, we know that we remember the recipes and the different things that really bring on, just that reminds us of being a kid. And I had mentioned in the outline about trying something new, and I was going to post it on Instagram, and I never did, but I did buy a Pop-Tart, and I did eat it, and yeah, it's pretty much like I remember. So not the healthiest thing to eat, but it's fun, you know. Anyway, and my Brazos, my daughter, she's like, Pop-Tart, what? Because I try not to buy too many of the junky food type deal. So anyway, but documenting this was a picture actually. So backing up a little bit, there's so many things that you can document about, but I try to pick a few things that really stand out. And I think, like I said, when I come back in here and go back through, there's a couple things that I want to add, but one of the reasons I'm posting this video a little later than my other ones is because I had this idea and then it just kind of took a little while to put it together, and I'm still not quite finished with it, but I knew I needed to pop on here and get you guys this video out before we are already in the next day. So, but I was talking about taste, and so I kind of thought about different things that I had. One, I had a photograph of this. I took it several years ago that I found, and I thought, oh, I remember we didn't have blizzards and all, you know, things like that from, I think we did a banana split. I think that I never had a banana split, but I think they did banana splits, but we always would go get a dipped cone. And so that was like a little treat. My mom would pull up and we would all get one. And I wrote a little note on this little tip-in that I had, this little journal card for a while. And I don't remember exactly my brother and Dad getting one. I know blizzards came out, I think, when I was in high school, and so I know we would get him one then, but with the drip cone it was hard to get home with them without it dripping everywhere. So but a lot of times my brother and Dad were working anyway on the weekends, and so I really I just remember it being me and my mom. But anyway, my mom and sisters, so I wanted to document that. And then of course, with going with the circus theme of this book that I have, I had this little extra popcorn container from Brazos's birthday party, and so I thought it would be really cute to make it into like a little booklet. And I was really going to put a tie here where it became more where you worked with it, but I ended up putting this cute little cutout paper doll. I don't know if you guys remember that. I had some of these. I ended up putting her in there, and so I didn't want to make it where it closed on her. So this was the project that I had started working on just recently, and this was that I started thinking about. My grandmother had given me a book, and it's weird, I posted it on Instagram today, and my older sister said, I didn't know you got a book. Grandma got me a book too, and she got one for Christmas and I got one for my birthday. So I thought that was really neat that that my grandma shared her recipes with us, and we have used the tar out of them because my book is completely almost fallen apart, and the pages have come out, and I just kind of stick them in there because I go to it on several recipes that I go back to, and I guess you could, put them in a different book, but I have great sentimental value, and I just going to keep the book. And it's, like I said, you can tell from the cover, it's definitely had worn, and I figured today it's 31 years old. Cringe, oh my gosh. But it is something that I cherish. And so I just kind of printed out a couple of the recipes that were in there, and I love that my grandmother has her handwriting on here. And I thought about writing about this recipe. This was her famous sugar cookie recipe that she would make her sugar cookies for everyone, and they were really light and crisp, and everybody loved them. And she would make them for everyone. Like, I still remember like her making them for the mailman at Christmas, and every Christmas function we would have them, and usually she would have them at her house. So that is something that I definitely want to write on the back of here, but I just kind of ran out of time. And then the banana nut bread is actually my handwriting. And back when I think I was 15, and I want to write about this. I used to make this for her all the time. Now my dad has a recipe for banana nut bread that is to die for. It has buttermilk in there, so it is so good, and it has a lot of bananas, so it's very delicious. But anyway, that's just kind of a memory that I wanted to document in there. But I did document about when I received this book. I need to put the year in there. I'll put my 15th birthday, but I need to put what year it is. And I could do that on the cover here. But I just kind of wrote about it and kind of created a little booklet like this. And I may add a few more recipes in there, when I go to wrap up the book. So, and then moving on to taste for this month. It is my birthday month, so I wanted to talk about the cake. I had the same cake every year. Except I can remember one year we had my party at the roller skating rink, and I got a cookie cake. But other than that, it has always been, and it still is, like my mom, I just went and saw her a couple weeks ago because I missed the tar out of them. And she made me my cake, and it's like kind of known. Everybody loves the cake. Of course, it has a coconut on there. I have posted a blog post on the recipe, so I'll try to tag that. I'll try to tag that in the blog post, but it is so good and so moist, and especially if you wait till the second day, it's like very moist. If you see what it calls for, you would be like, well, I can see why it's moist. It's like 2 sticks of butter, but definitely a cake that is good to take places so you don't sit and eat the whole thing and then feel guilty. But I just wanted to, that is definitely nostalgic. It's something I always have had. I love the cake. It's like in fact, even I'll make it for myself sometimes. I think I have done that in the past. When I was by myself or whatever the case may be on my birthday, I'd make my cake. But it was actually a recipe that was given to her by my great grandmother on my mom's side, and I love this that she wrote the date that she got it from her neighbor next door on August 20th, 1966. And my mom had made the cake for Linda's 12th birthday, which is my aunt, my mom's younger sister. And the other thing that I love about this cake story, which I should need to add this in here actually, but I have a scrapbook page that I tell this story in as well. And it is that my mom made it for my dad when they're on like their first kind of date in the summer. She invited him over she was staying with her grandmother, and she invited him over, and she made this cake for him, and then they lived happily ever after. Little fairy dust. And so and what recipe is not fun that uses the word bubbles? I'm sorry, bubbles is a fun word. So everything about this cake, as you can tell, I love it. And then this picture is actually not an older picture. I mean, looking back, it is 20 years old. I'm like, how did the time fly? But close to where my mom lives, there's a little town called Oatmeal, and I think the state of Texas forgot to put Oatmeal on the map one year, and so they started having a festival every year called the Oatmeal Festival. Let's put Oatmeal back on the map type deal. I don't know if that's the whole story, and it may not be, but so she has turned this cake in as an entry because you have to be able to make a cake with oatmeal, and she won 2 times second place. We're always like, oh, this cake is so good, how come it doesn't win first? But I noticed that the first place winners have chocolate in it, so that may be the trick to winning over the judges, is chocolate. But anyway, I love this picture of my mom. I love that she's wearing her little Tweety Bird overalls, and she actually has, I saw just the tip top of her sock, she had Tweety Bird little socks on. So anyway, that's kind of was her nickname given to her by Zachary, my son's dad. So I always thought that was kind of a cute that she had her little Tweety Bird outfit on. But anyway, so that kind of sums up the taste for me. I think it's great using old recipes, and like I said, I like to come in here and document a little bit more, tell a little bit more of the story, because even now that I was telling you guys about it, it really made me think, well, add that in there, tell that story, and so that you get the feeling in there, you get the thoughts and the feeling of what makes this so special. So another thing I wanted to point out, this past weekend, I've got my mask on. I went into a couple of little secondhand stores, and I found this super cute gingham rickrack. So always keep your eyes out for things. I think it was like a couple dollars or something like that. But yeah, always keep your eyes out for cute stuff you can use in your journal, because I thought that looked really cute and festive on the popcorn box. So alright, you guys, that's a wrap for taste, and we'll see you tomorrow.